Well, so the question today is, what is veganism? Okay. A lot of people think that veganism is a diet, right? So, what do vegans eat? What do vegans not eat? Oh, okay, vegans don't eat animal products, they don't eat meat, they don't consume dairy or eggs. But veganism is not a diet. Veganism is actually an ethical stance against animal exploitation. So while diet is a big part of veganism because we eat every single day, 3 times a day, is not all of it. It doesn't encompass everything else that vegans are against or that vegans don't support. For example, vegans don't go to zoos, we don't go to circuses, we don't buy cosmetics that have been tested on animals. So any kind of animal exploitation that happens, we are against. So first and foremost, veganism is an ethical stance against animal exploitation. And I think most people would say they are animal lovers, or at the very least, that they are not animal abusers. They are not someone who subscribes to the idea that it's okay to exploit an animal or to abuse an animal. Because most of us would see an animal in the street and we would think to ourselves, okay, like, especially if the animal's being abused, people are going to be really upset and they're going to want to come to the person who's abusing the dog or the cat or whatever, and they're going to try to stop them. Because I feel like we are inherently compassionate individuals as humans. The human race, I think, is more so compassionate than not. If we see something wrong, if someone is getting oppressed or an injustice is happening to an animal, we step in. But then when it's happening behind closed doors, like in the animal agriculture industry, somehow we are detached from it and we become numb to the process. We're so disconnected from the process that we alienate ourselves from what actually happens to animals behind those places, behind the slaughterhouses, behind the fur farms, behind the labs where they test on animals. And these horrific procedures happens to them. And somehow we think that, well, there's a humane way to do it. We can still exploit, use, and abuse animals as long as it's done humanely, right? But here's the question: what does the word humane mean? Humane mean, objectively speaking, to treat somebody else with kindness, with benevolence. So that begs the question, can we really abuse an animal? Can we really take away their life in a humane way, compassionately? Another way to think about that is humane really means something that we would be okay having done unto ourselves. If we want to live, would we want our lives taken away against our will? No, of course not. None of us would. If we want to carry on with our lives, somebody, just because we, like, let's say, for example, we had a really nice life, because that's another argument that comes up a lot, is, well, they had a nice life, so it's okay to murder them, take away their lives. If we had a really nice life, or let's just still speak in an animal context, if we have a animal companion at home and they had a really nice life, would we be okay with somebody else killing them to eat their flesh? Of course not. So why is this so different when it comes to pigs, chickens, fish, and other sentient beings that we exploit? That is because of human supremacy. We think that just because we are humans, that we can do whatever we want to other species. But that line of reasoning has been the reason why so many wrongdoings have happened throughout history. They have different skin color. They are different gender than we are. Their sexuality is different than ours. And it's the same with speciesism. Speciesism is just this imaginary line that we draw in between some animals, cats and dogs, koalas, elephants, animals that we think are cute and that we care for. And then the other line is like chickens and pigs and fish and the animals that we consume and exploit. Somehow it becomes okay, somehow it becomes acceptable. But let me ask you a question. If you were a chicken, if you were a fish, would you want to be exploited and killed, or would you rather live out your life? Or even, you don't even have to go that deep into it by imagining yourself being that animal, but you can ask yourself, like, you know, in the animal's eyes, in the animal's perspective, if they were a fox, if they were a chicken, if they were a bear, if they were a pig, do they have that same innate desire to live, to enjoy the sun, to enjoy nature, to enjoy being with their family, to enjoy being alive? Of course they do. All animals have that same innate desire, and it has been proven that all animals are sentient. Animals are sentient beings that want to live. So that begs the question, like, what gives us the right to take that away from them? And being vegan, if you really think about it, it's a non-action. We are not proactively doing something. We're just not harming animals that would otherwise be being harmed on our behalf, because we pay money when we buy bacon or eggs or milk or cheese, which, by the way, all of that is already exists in a vegan version. We pay money for other people to stab an animal so that we can eat their flesh, to turn on a macerator for the baby eggs to get thrown, baby male chicks to be thrown into a macerator the first day of life, because that's what happened in the egg industry. Baby male chicks get thrown into a big macerator because they don't produce any eggs. We are paying somebody else to abuse animals on our behalf. But yeah, like I was saying, animals want to live just the same. They don't want to be exploited, just like we don't want to be exploited. So being vegan is non-action. It's not paying people to exploit animals. So it's not even a matter of being compassionate. It's just a matter of justice. It's a matter of what's right. It's a matter of not exploiting others for our own benefit. Now, if you want to take it a step further, some people will say that even veganism isn't the moral baseline, but rather to be an activist, to speak out against these injustices. So veganism is not the most we can do. It's the least we can do. Like the vegan couple says, they are a fantastic channel on YouTube and a fantastic power vegan couple that does so much for the animals. So you should check them out. But anyway, yeah, so veganism is the least we can do. The least we can do, if we are decent humans with a sense of what's right, what's just, if we feel like we don't want to exploit animals, if you feel like you're an animal lover yourself, which most people claim to do, we can't be paying other people to be exploiting animals on our behalf. Because for many years, I was living in hypocrisy. I would call myself an animal lover, yet I was paying other people to kill, exploit, use animals on my behalf. And some of those years was after I already was pretty aware of what was happening. And I just decided to stick my head in the sand and keep doing things the way I have been doing them, because of my culture, because of tradition, because of convenience. So all of these excuses exist, but that doesn't mean that they're justifiable. It's not justifiable that because we've been doing something for a very long time, that we can keep doing it. I mean, we can think of, we've been killing and raping each other for thousands of years. That doesn't make it okay. But I'm just kind of rambling at this point. That's what veganism is, you know, and it has been proven by science that we can be healthy on a plant-based diet. So if we can be healthy, how can we keep justifying the animal holocaust? How can we keep justifying exploiting animals? It's already convenient to be vegan. We can go to the store and get vegan food now. And just so you know, just so you can get this idea out of your head that vegan food means plant-based milks or fake meats or vegan cheeses or anything like that. It doesn't. Vegan food is as simple as whole foods like potatoes, pasta, rice, beans, lentils, burritos. You can make vegan burritos with whole foods, legumes, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. And that's healthy for us anyway. That's what we should be doing the most. And that's the cheapest thing as well in the supermarket. You can find those things at the cheapest of prices. So if you start to look as to what veganism really is, which is an ethical stance, you start to see that it's actually practical if you want to do the healthy way, and you can, splurge once in a while and go to vegan restaurants, and just like you would do normally with other restaurants, it would cost you about the same price. And it's just growing, and veganism isn't going anywhere, let me tell you, because veganism is a social justice movement. Then if you look at history, all the other social justice movements never went away until justice was made. And they're still here. We're still fighting for equality for all. And that's what veganism is. So I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about the veganism is not a diet. It's an ethical stance against animal exploitation. And the more that we can get that out there and make it clear to others, because for me, I thought it was a diet for many years. The more that we can understand that the only way that we can be against animal exploitation is by being vegan. If not, we are living in a contradiction with our own moral values. So tell me in the comments what you think. If you have any other options, we can talk about it. We could even have a debate about it if you want. Yeah, but that was my ramble on what is veganism. Catch you all later.